Yo, what up, Street Talks? There, Kim. All right, Turbo Thought. So this is about how to live the best life, how to live your best life. So first and foremost, very basic idea. I think cut your caffeine consumption around midday, noon, and after that, don't have any stimulants, don't have sugar, don't have cacao powder, green tea, caffeinated tea, etc. No matter how much more quote productive it might make you. And the reason I think this is important is that nothing in life is possible without great sleep, and I'm pretty certain that any caffeine consumption, regardless of how unsensitive or robust you are, is probably not a good thing. And also I think living a place with the ideal climate, I think, is actually quite useful too. So for example, I'm currently here in Phnom Penh, Cambodia, and I personally love the climate here. I think I actually prefer kind of more hot and humid climates. For me, it makes me feel a little bit more productive. And also I think it's important for you to just kind of know like what you want to do with your life. So for me, that's writing, blogging, vlogging, sharing turbo thoughts, photography, and so forth, because I think a lot of people who strive to live these kind of, base consumptive lives and lifestyles, it's just a little bit empty. There's technically nothing wrong with it from a, moralistic, ethical perspective. And also I think one thing that's very beneficial and useful is getting into powerlifting, increase your 1 rep max, deadlift, squat, and everything. And I think that physiological strength is the source of greatness. So no greatness without some sort of physiological strength and well-being. Susurai, 안녕하세요. Just me today. Okay. I need to eat fast. Okay. How are you? Good.
Okay, table not yet.
Can I sit here or? Okay. Can I just get lots of beef and lamb,
Beef and lamb, yes.
and then the vegetables, so I could just eat fast. Okay, Akun.
About soup, you still need the sabu and kimchi, right?
Yeah. You know it perfectly. Okay, Akun and
And I on your sabu and kimchi.
yeah. Can I get the
Pizza and lamb.
yeah, all of the beef and then the lamb? Akun, 감사합니다. And I think the reason why the physiological aspect is so important is that like I believe that actually in order to become the most possible wretched body, wretched mind, like a lot of people I think who are quote depressed or have mental problems, health issues, I think maybe the source is actually a physiological one that drives in your body. Because like if you're super healthy in your body, then certainly your mind will also be healthy. But if you have a sick and diseased body, certainly your mind is going to suffer. And I think one of the naive things that a lot of people do is they try to disconnect the mind from the body. And I think it comes from this whole like Judeo-Christian notion of a beautiful soul itself is sufficient enough to salvation. But I think actually what's important is the body is actually the real thing. The mind is just an offshoot of the body. So the body is the only real thing. The mind itself is a fiction from a philosophical perspective. Sasuda, 안녕하세요. Can I get this one and then this one? Akun. And then this one a lot. Akun. 잘 지내셨어요? Are you good? Okay, Akun, 안녕하세요. Akun. Ooh. Oh yeah. Oh no. 감사합니다. So if you yourself are feeling, you know, depressed or, you know, mental issues or whatever's, don't do some sort of like mental training. Just start with improve your body. So for example, a solid 12-hour sleep. 안녕하세요. 잘 지내셨어요? 아쿤. 맞습니다. Yeah. Okay, 아쿤. Okay. 맞습니다. I like your eyeshadow. So pretty. Thank you. 안녕하세요. 감사합니다. 네, 잘 먹겠습니다. 이따키마스. 감사합니다. And can I get another round too?
Yes, sir.
I need to eat very fast.
So prepare more for you.
Huh?
That I prepare for more for you.
Huh?
More?
Yeah, can I get another round? Thank you, thank you. I just eat really fast, eat fast. Tasty, tasty. Okay. 아쿤. So eating healthy is important. Also lots of water. Ooh. 아쿤, 고맙습니다. Oh, can you also get this one? 아쿤, 고맙습니다.
Do you need some noodles, sir?
Huh?
Do you need some noodles? Do you need more in the noodle? Noodles?
Udon? No. And also, can you get some more meat? I'll just keep cooking. 아쿤. Wait, I have a question. Which one is this one?
This one beef shoulder
This is beef shoulder.
and beef belly.
And which one is this?
Lamb shoulders.
Oh, lamb shoulder. Okay, perfect. Thank you. It's so tasty. 아쿤, 감사합니다. 빨리 먹어야 되겠네. Yeah, so I think that in order to become the best version of yourself, focusing on your health is probably the most important thing. Like, it doesn't matter if you're a quadrillionaire and you have all the Lambos in the world. If you're like 400 pounds, over fat, you know, diseased body, diseased mind, you're not going to be happy. And I also think it's important to live in a place that you yourself like a dynamic city. I mean, I'm personally happiest in like Hanoi and Saigon in Vietnam. The city itself is just much more dynamic. It's much more fun. There's a lot more interesting things happening and going on. And, you know, just the culture is better, I think, in my opinion. Like, Americans tend to be just like to stay in the office. And I think the biggest issue in America is that just life in America is just a little bit boring. I think life here is actually much more fun, interesting, dynamic. It's a lot more social. That makes me happier. And also, I think other ways to kind of live your best life is to demetricate yourself. So what does it mean to demetricate yourself? Is to no longer attach your self-worth or anything based on numbers, and rather a much more robust way to do this is through your own self-assessment of yourself. You know, and I think this is where a lot of people lack self-esteem. Like even Jay-Z, he cares too much about money and his self-esteem, whereas I think a much more robust approach is to like set your own table of values for what's important to you, and maybe on the daily to assess whether you're kind of going towards the direction that you personally like. And other things to live your cocoa best. I mean, once again, this is all just my opinion. I can't speak for you, but I think if you want to live the best possible human life and existence possible, I actually think it's essential to have a kid. Like, the best way I would describe to having a kid is the first year and a half is like trench warfare. It's like the most painful physiological thing you experience. However, the upside and the joy you get of having the kid far outweighs it by 1,000-fold. So also I think that's another thing too, is that I think people, they think the best life is the life with the most comfort, the most luxury, etc. But actually, in fact, I believe that the best life is where you could somehow in some ways channel the pain and maximize your pain. And by maximizing your pain, you also maximize your pleasure, which is kind of hilarious. So the joy of intermittent fasting, not eating breakfast or lunch, just eating one massive meal a day, like I'm doing right now. And to know that some deprivation is actually good for you, like sometimes having some sleep deprivation is actually good for you, because then when you have a good night's sleep, you actually appreciate it so much more than if you always had great sleep. This is why sometimes traveling and jet lag is so beneficial. And yeah, like intermittent deprivation from like even meat, protein, stuff like that seems to be quite wise. Like even a smart thing I think Nassim Taleb does is, I think in his book Anti-Fragile, like he goes vegan once a week, and that seems to be an effective way to, you know, kind of turbocharge some sort of body's autophagy recuperation process. Also, big thing is eating is serious business, so don't eat while distracted.